na Mabemba na Baku Northern kuja kwanza malaria maningi. So the reason why sickle cell iliko, it is just like the body was just trying to protect itself against what is malaria. So where there's a lot of malaria, that is where also makali zawambili banewali. So ukamkwatira kamkazi kako kuchipata, ukamkwatira waneka manayo kuchipata, ukamkwatira kamkazi kako kuchibemba, uniko kwa pimisa first wazia akali nayo onofanya wazipimisa kwa ili kamene dipezi kama ningi. But right now it is now because of intermarriage.
Yes,
a lot of intermarriage. Now we cannot tell, but right now the part that has got a lot of sickle cell in Zambia is the northern part, eastern, northwestern, because of that belt. So yes, so that is, so people, as we are getting married, our goal is that we should be able to know our sickle cell status. That's the message that I want us to. No, that's why I have a t-shirt. Natawe, know your sickle cell what? Status. Yeah, just kuru maningi.
You thought I was over, but look at me glow in the wind. Beautiful.
21 hours on Bmtv. It's simply, frank. It ends simple this time. My guest, Brian Mundubile, President, Tonse Alliance. Tune in, Bmtv, Topstar 114, repeated on 5FM, and it's also on YouTube. I tell you what, there's a phrase that says, do your very best and God will do the rest. I did just that. 21 hours. Simply Frank. I'm Frank. See you.
Iliashi lovers, this Thursday at 21 hours, we're going to have a live interaction between you, our viewers, and us here at Bmtv with Mama Chikamoneka, of course, bringing in the fire, the vibes, and all the juicy stories that you want to hear. Keep it locked to Bmtv channel 114 on Topstar and also Bmtv Zambia channel 114 on Facebook. Remember, it's going to be a live interaction. We can't wait to hear from you, and we will definitely see you on Thursday. Bye.
I also do make these instruments, and most of my customers are in the USA, China, those countries which are far away. Why is it like that? It's because children of nowadays, they think maybe playing the kalimba, it's a laughable matter. It's maybe I'm a laughing stock or what. But it has taken me somewhere else, beyond Zambia.
It is time you've been waiting for, the news on Bmtv, channel 114 on Topstar. We're live on our socials, that is Facebook, YouTube, and you can stream live on our website, that is www.bmtvzambia.com. Now let's take a look at the top stories tonight. Faweza enrolls 750 learners in Second Chance Pathways programs. Bus operators raise security concerns over 24-hour economy in Lusaka. People's Pact names Dorika Banda as running mate. In international news, 2 hostages captured in Niger, freed by Russia's Africa Corps in Mali. And in sports news, Leicester City relegated to League One, global fans feel the impact. Well, to present the news in detail, my name is Sondra. Faweza Executive Director Kosten Kanchele has said that the program is being implemented with support from the MasterCard Foundation through Fawe Africa. Kanchele explained that the General Certificate of Education GCE pathway has been designed to provide an alternative route into tertiary education for young people who do not meet direct university entry requirement. He revealed that 750 participants have successfully been selected and are now enrolled in Faweza's GCE remedial learning centers across 5 partner universities. Mr. Kanchele added that out of the enrolled learners, 609 are female, representing 80.1%, while 149 are male, accounting for 19.9%. He further noted that 40 learners are persons with disability, representing 5.3%, while 27 are refugees.
Those who are lucky in maybe urban areas, peri-urban areas, they are able to enroll and learn in some secondary schools. But we are talking about those who are in peri-urban, in rural areas, who remain in the same environment. Even when they enroll, they still have problems to pass the principal required subjects. Of these learners that we have enrolled, 609 are female, representing 80% of the total enrollment, while 149 are male, representing 20%. Further, 40 learners are persons with disabilities, accounting for 5%, and 27 are refugees, representing 4%. These figures, ladies and gentlemen, reflect our deliberate effort to ensure inclusivity and equity regarding access to education. And indeed, this makes us live the principle of leaving no one behind. The 750 participants are currently hosted in leading institutions. We are talking about University of Zambia, Copperbelt University, Mulungushi University, these are public universities, Eden University, and the Apex Medical University, which are private universities. Within these environments, they are receiving structured academic instruction. They are receiving mentorship. They are also accessing laboratories which they cannot access in their localities, and a conducive learning.
Operators further point out the current regulations still restrict public service vehicles from operating between 21 hours and 05 hours, making it difficult to fully transition to round-the-clock operations. They further since called on government to improve security through increased police patrols, better street lighting, and enhanced theft measures at bus stations before implementing a full 24-hour transport system.
Zingati majanki ndipo watigwira baba kama kutima accident accident yoka during the day, more especially day ambini, because utaona monga distance ni patari mandi kubarishipa so those that would travel at night sometimes wamangara kwa extra care wana kuti waenda kwanza. The only thing chabe vendinga ngabe kuchabe chabatu ma potholes makamaka wa road development agency bafunga wafabriko nzetu mangara no mochema attach mangara so time achina time kuchakae na uti apati time ngaendi time
but unless that, for instance, again that in a booking nienda kapena Eastern province nienda kapena thing store kwa nifipira if I still have power to nantanga I still have energy ni kwani sakusemeza usiku ningasenza but famina ndera tapa manja hapana makudozi mfani kanapumua because again kusenza during the night is risk
in some places where security is guaranteed. But personally, like to me, looking at the business I'm doing in the area where I'm operating from.
The People's Pact has announced Dorika Banda as running mate to Fred Membe ahead of the August 2026 general elections. The announcement comes as political parties intensify preparations for the polls slated for August, with the alliance positioning itself as the key contender in the race. Dorika Banda is expected to deputize Membe on the presidential ticket as the People's Pact seeks to broaden its appeal to the electorates. The development marks a significant step in the party's campaign strategy as Zambia heads towards the general elections.
Too much, Sayo, too much.
I first met our dear Vice President Dorika about late 1982 or early 1983. When we were exchanging notes, we discovered that actually we had met, we were not strangers to each other. Her integrity, her honesty, her dedication to the people of this country is beyond question. Yeah. So the people introduced you today bring something that cannot be taken for granted in the leadership of our country. A rare commodity in the leadership of this country today. Integrity is a rare commodity. Honesty is a rare commodity. And also they bring in a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. The 21st century.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia says it will engage key government institutions following concerns raised by political parties ahead of the 2026 general elections. In a statement issued by Chief Electoral Officer Brown Casaro, the Commission outlined solutions for a consultative meeting held with political parties on April 17, 2026. Mr. Casaro said that the Commission will engage the Registrar of Societies over issues related to the registration of political parties, particularly the failure by some parties to update their office bearers. He added that the Commission will also consult the Office of the Attorney General to provide clarity on the constitutional requirement that a presidential candidate must be ordinary resident in Zambia, including specific period of residence required. Meanwhile, Mr. Casaro confirmed that verification of Grade 12 certificate for candidates will continue to be conducted by the Examination Council of Zambia through both online and physical verification process. The meeting brought together political party leaders, including party presidents, Secretary General, election chairpersons and campaign managers as part of the ongoing preparations for the 2026 general elections. We move to another story. Honorable Credo Nanjua MP has warned that escalating climate change impacts, including prolonged droughts, water stress and declining agricultural productivities, are increasingly threatening livelihoods in Zambia. He made the remarks while welcoming global delegates to a high-level meeting on loss and damage in Livingstone. Speaking during a cocktail dinner at the Radisson Blue Mosotunya, Honorable Nanjoa said that the gathering comes at a critical time. The province are already experiencing the harsh realities of climate.
Leadership. Local authorities such as Livingstone are often at the front line of climate impacts. We are among the first to see distress in communities, the first to confront disruptions in services, and the first to support recovery at local level. It is therefore our hope that as this fund continues to evolve, Strong attention will be paid to how support can reach affected communities effectively, transparently, and in ways that strengthen action on the ground.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has reiterated the critical importance of aligning private sector and cooperating partners' investment with government policies and national development priorities to accelerate sustainability, socio-economic development. Permanent Secretary for Administration, Dr. Gabriel Pollen, made the remarks during a high-level panel discussion at the School World Forum held in Oxford. The session, hosted by FICA, Food for Zambia, and Health Learners, brought together global leaders to examine how impactful development models can transform from pilot initiatives to sustainable government-led systems.
When you think about your role, what are the biggest responsibilities that you carry? And also, what do you need to see from an organization before you would consider bringing them in as a partner? More than 40 children, right?
Thank you very much. So we from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. So we supervise 116 local authorities across the country to deliver local services at that level, but we're also directly in charge of rural development, so which means we build roads in rural areas, we support clinics, schools, and complementary infrastructure, including bridges and so forth. So obviously the biggest challenge is that we're right at the center of service delivery, broadly speaking. So we have to coordinate different ministries across the country, but also the stakeholders that operate in different sectors. So we have to work very closely, for example, the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health. So we sit right at the center of a broader government service delivery. And from where we sit, we see that stakeholder engagement is key in order to deliver effective and efficient services to different local authorities. So firstly, we understand what the local authority level needs are, and then we also then understand also what the priorities are for given local authorities within the context of scarce resources. And we then map out how to deliver those scarce resources to based on the priorities that have been set out at the local level. But that requires constant stakeholder consultation and engagement, understanding the different layers of governance. And obviously, as government, we are the legitimate governance agent of the country, and it's critical that the stakeholders that we're going to work with, whether it's international cooperating partners or private sector, understand the legitimacy of government and use the systems that the government has put in place to support the different initiatives.
Muchinga Province Deputy Permanent Secretary, Mr. Sichande, has commended Mansa Municipal Council for its progressive and coordinated multi-sectorial approach to service delivery, describing it as a model worth emulating across local authorities in Zambia. Speaking during his visit to the Mansa Municipal Council stand at the ongoing Rapula Expo, Mr. Sichande said that the council's integrated approach, bringing together key stakeholders such as health, local government, and community development, demonstrates a strong commitment to improving the quality of life for citizens. Meanwhile, the Deputy Permanent Secretary particularly highlighted the role of the Ministry of Health, whose presence at the stand showcased vital public health interventions, including disease prevention, hygiene sensitization, and access to primary health care services.
Investment so that we can support investment to improve the economies where our children, the youth especially, have chance to be employed, as it were. So I'm very excited this afternoon. We are at the table here where I met our ladies who are from the Ministry of Health. You know, they are devolved, so they are under local government. And with able ladies here who've been explaining, knowing that for us as a country to move on to have good economics, improved economics per se, we will need to be healthy. So I've been taught a lot of things, exciting things on how to prevent malaria. You know, we have this basin here, Luapula Basin, mosquitoes everywhere sometimes, so you are prone to get the infection. So they are explaining on how best we should keep ourselves away from the female anopheles mosquito. That may be the causative agent, that may be the cause to give you the causative agent for malaria. So we've been also taught on drugs that are able to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS, the treatment rather, and there's how you can self-test and everything. So we're very, very excited. We just want to also add a weight to our colleagues out there to stay safe, especially in times like this where there are a lot of people that to be cancelled, to always ensure that we are always healthy in order for us to stay productive. I thank you so much.
Well, we break for our first set of commercials. We'll be back with international and sports news. Stay tuned.
21 hours on Bmtv. It's simply, frank. It ends simple this time. My guest, Brian Mundubile, President, Tonse Alliance. Tune in, Bmtv, Topstar 114, repeated on 5FM, and it's also on YouTube. I tell you what, there's a phrase that says, do your very best and God will do the rest. I did just that. 21 hours. Simply Frank. I'm Frank. See you.
We do appreciate for staying with us. Now we proceed with international news. 2 men held hostage in Mali have been freed after almost 2 years in captivity, the Russian army said on Tuesday. Russian national Oleg Greta and Ukrainian Yuri Yorov were rescued by a special operation carried out by Russia's Africa's Corps unit, Moscow said in a statement. We monitor African news with the details.
Since the Sudanese military retook Khartoum last May, people have been trickling back to the city. Across the country, more than 12 million people were forced to flee their homes when fighting erupted in 2023. Some left the country, others sought safety in North and East Sudan. But according to the UN Migration Agency, in the last year, some 4 million people have returned to their homes.
Many are returning because they believe security has improved. Others are returning because life in displacement has become unbearable, because economic pressures, also to reunite with families, or because conditions in neighboring countries are increasingly hard.
But coming home isn't easy either. Returnees face widespread destruction and a lack of basic services.
Farmers are returning to fields, but where irrigation systems and equipment have been damaged, it's threatening livelihoods and food production at a critical moment for the country. Without urgent investment to restore essential services and rebuild infrastructure and revive livelihoods, safe and sustainable returns are at serious risk.
But the humanitarian response is underfunded and insufficient for the scale of the crisis. Khartoum is expecting 2 million more returnees this year, adding further strain to the limited services in place.
A global shipping route is once again under threat as Iranian forces move against commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. On Wednesday, 3 containers container vessels were caught in separate incidents, 2 seized and 1 fired upon. According to British maritime security officials, an Iranian Revolutionary Guard gunboat opened fire on a container ship off the coast of Oman, causing heavy damages to its bridge. Despite the attacks, the entire crew members were reported safe. Once more, Africa News.
A global shipping route is once again under threat as Iranian forces move against commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. On Wednesday, 3 container vessels were caught in separate incidents, 2 seized and 1 fired upon. According to British maritime security officials, an Iranian Revolutionary Guard gunboat opened fire on a container ship off the coast of Oman, causing heavy damage to its bridge. Despite the attack, all crew members were reported safe. At the same time, Iran's Revolutionary Guards say they intercepted and seized 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz, accusing them of violating a blockade imposed during the ongoing conflict. The vessels were reportedly redirected toward Iranian waters. In a third incident, another cargo ship was fired upon west of Iran and temporarily forced to stop, though no damage or injuries were reported. The Strait, one of the world's most critical oil and trade routes, has seen growing restrictions since the outbreak of the war. Shipping in the Strait remains under intense pressure, with both Iran and US forces enforcing rival controls.
Well, we go for another break. When we come back, we've got sports news.
na Mabemba na Baku Northern kuja kwanza malaria maningi. So the reason why siko sawa iliko, it is just like the body was just trying to protect itself against what is malaria. So where there's a lot of malaria, that is where also makali za wambili banewali. So ukamkwatira kamkazi kako kuchipata, ukamkwatira waneka manayo kuchipata, ukamkwatira kamkazi kako kuchibemba, uniko kwa pimisa first wazita akali nayo onofanya wazipimisa kai ndi kamene dipezi kama ningi. But right now it is now because of intermarriage. Yes, a lot of intermarriage. Now we cannot tell, but right now the part that has got a lot of sickle cell in Zambia is the northern part, eastern, northwestern, because of that belt. So yes, so that is, so people, as we are getting married, our goal is that we should be able to know our sickle cell status. That's the message that I want us to. No, that's why I have a t-shirt. Know your sickle cell what? Status. Yeah, just cool maning.
Well, I do appreciate for your presence, but now let me take you straight into the world of sports, where Leicester City have been relegated to League One, marking a dramatic fall from grace for the former Premier League champions, a development that is not only affecting the club, but also its global fan base, including Zambia supporters here because of Patson Daka. Well, Patson will have to make a decision either to remain in the lowest league or maybe moving to another club, or maybe coming back to Zambia in the local league. Well, on that sad story, we close our bulletin, but before we do so, a recap of the headlines that are making stories tonight. Faweza enrolls 750 learners in Second Chance Pathway program. Bus operators raise security concerns over 24-hour economy in Lusaka. People's Park names Dorika Banda as running mate. In international news, 2 hostages captured in Niger, freed by Russia's Africa Corps in Mali. And in sports news, Leicester City relegated to League One. Global fan feel the impact. Well, on behalf of the production crew, Mr. Douglas Banda on transmission, Aldrich Kampamba and Jackson Tembo on camera 1 and 2. In our newsroom, Ruth Msakabantu, our reporter, and Mr. Tumwani Nkata, our news editor. This has been Sontra. Good night.